Hare Krishna, welcome you all for our e-Gurukula sessions, and today is a Friday. We have Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita study. And if you remember, the last week we saw the great quality of Srila Prabhupada. Anyone remember what quality was highlighted about the life of Srila Prabhupada? Especially that Dr. Shastri was speaking. He was a acquaintance. He was a Srila Prabhupada was staying with him. Anyone remember? And very key word we highlighted that. Yeah. Yeah. It's iron will determination, iron will power. So all of us, everyone knows actually what are the good things and how to be done and things, but somehow it happens that nobody's living with those examples. That's why it looks like it is not possible. And that's what it becomes very difficult for the people to understand and follow. But then if you see the life of great souls, and especially Srila Prabhupada, who is just 50 years before, right? He was there on the planet. So yes, it looks possible. It is possible. How Srila Prabhupada led his life, holding on to these great values and principles. And then that's what he brought out something great for the whole world. So let us read in our today's reading also, and then try to look into our lives, what best we can improve ourselves and become the better servant for Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakhantam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so let me share. Yeah. Are you all able to see the screen? Is this Vedabase screen? Is it visible? Dr. Shastri, is it visible?
No, Prabhu, you can see the answer only.
Oh, yes or no? Okay.
Now I can see, Prabhu.
Okay. Now you can see, right? Yeah. So let's read once again from this. Okay, reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita by His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj. Volume 1, A Lifetime in Preparation, continuation of the chapter 7, Jhansi, the League of Devotees. So Prabhupada was in Jhansi, and this is Dr. Shastri hosted him. And what Dr. Shastri got to experience with Srila Prabhupada, that he's narrating. So we'll just read once again a little bit part from the beginning so that we revise. Dr. Shastri. In his heart, always it was burning that the whole world was suffering in the materialistic view. Everyone is busy in eat, drink, and be merry. So the whole day he was touring and preaching his mission that was prescribed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Guru Maharaj. He was having iron will determination. So Srila Prabhupada, he spoke very amazing statement. Anyone knows? One disciple, he asked Srila Prabhupada, what if you don't have determination, Prabhupada? Anyone knows what Prabhupada replied? Prabhupada said, without determination, we are just animals. Right? We are humans, means we should work with the good things. Without strongly determined to hold on to the good things and to say no for bad things, then our life becomes no better than animals. So it's very much important to know. That's why in the beginning we said, right, everyone knows what is good, but somehow to live on the good, that requires that determination. Right, to rise early in the morning, chanting our rounds, and always being truthful, honest. So surely the great test is being taken. Right. So Srila Prabhupada spoke. He just not spoke, but he lived also his life. That's why his words were having a great powers. So this Dr. Shastri who was staying with him, he got the experience. Right. He was having iron will determination and self-confidence about his mission. So how many people were there with Srila Prabhupada in the beginning to support his mission? Anyone knows? Yeah, you can unmute and say how many people were there.
No one.
Yeah. Jasitpur is writing two. Who are these two? Yes, Jasitpur.
He alone went in Jaladuta.
Yeah, yes. Let's hear from Jasitpur about whom he's saying. Yes.
Prabhuji, I thought you're asking like in Jan seems like.
Okay. No, not Jhansi. Yeah, practically, yeah. In general, also many people they came forward, but then they could not continue. Like here also, you see Dr. Shastri. Later also, you'll read it. Many people they gave some kind of a hope, but could not continue. So Srila Prabhupada single-handedly continued. And how much his self-confidence was, people say, no, we have to be confident. Right. So what is this confidence level you want to know? When Srila Prabhupada was there, he was alone in the beginning when he went to America. And he was sitting on in a park. And then the one person, he asked him, Swamiji, who are you? From where you are and things. Then Srila Prabhupada said, I am founder Acharya of our movement. That time nobody was there, okay? And he asked, how many followers you have? Srila Prabhupada replied, we have 10,000 followers. When nobody was there, Srila Prabhupada said that time, we have 10,000 followers all over the world. We have so many branches. This is a self-confidence. So this self-confidence, what Dr. Shastri is telling is not Prabhupada is telling about his own powers. But Prabhupada is telling because he has a faith, complete faith on the instruction of his spiritual master and the power of holy names. That's why that confidence was perfect. And that's how Prabhupada could tell so powerfully. Even before any people joining also, he said, we have so many branches all over the world and we have thousands of followers. And what Dr. Shastri is writing next line, you see, he was not doubtful at all. He was, sometimes we go alone, no? we get a doubt. What will happen if I am alone left or things, you know? Nobody, he's not coming, they're not coming, so I'll also not go. But Srila Prabhupada, you see. So that's why it's require a great determination. In the world, many people run behind the wrong things, but then we should know what is right things as per we learn from Bhagavad Gita, from the devotees and our parents. And then we should hold on to do that right things nicely. So one should not get carried away by externals. Oh, so many people. He was Dridhavrata, staunchly determined. Actually, he was always preaching Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, Kalau nasteva nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. No other way except Hare Krishna Nam. So always discussing. Sometimes the whole night he was discussing with me. And sometimes I was fed up. I was requesting, please don't disturb me. Please let me sleep. Who is telling this? Please let me sleep. Please don't disturb me.
Shastri.
Dr. Shastri is telling to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so strongly determined that he really wanted to work. That's why next line you see again what is written. And he, the old man, missionary worker, he was just like a young man. I was a young chap and he was just like my friend, my elder brother. He was like my guide and teacher, because the preacher is a friend, philosopher, and guide. So Prabhupada was old. Already we were reading, right? This is going on around 1952, 53, that period. So almost 50 plus. Prabhupada's birth year. Which year Srila Prabhupada was born? What is the birth year of Srila Prabhupada? Who knows?
1896.
The answer is on the screen only. A lifetime in preparation, India, from 1896 to 1965. So 1896 Srila Prabhupada appeared, and 1965 Srila Prabhupada boarded Jalduta to go to America. So 1896 Prabhupada appeared. So almost 50 plus year he was, but he was like a strong man, young man, energetic, constantly thinking, looking, and working upon. So that's what you see. And practically you will read such kind of expression to whomever Srila Prabhupada touched. Okay, now here we are reading Dr. Shastri. Later you'll see when Prabhupada goes to America also, right? On the Jaldut also, so many people will come across how they speak about who Srila Prabhupada was and how was his life about. So it's really, sometimes we think, how it is possible, how it is. So we can hear from the people who are there. Right? So Srila Prabhupada. So missionary means what? What is mean by missionary? You understand? The old man mission. Who has a mission? Who is on a mission? So in our life also we should have a mission, that I want to become a very good devotee of the Lord. Right? And then for that, yes, whatever is needful, we should do all our duties very, very nicely. So such one description, one paragraph, but see such a great things. Now let's see. So sometimes what happens if we get our interested things or we want to do some things, the people lose their sleep, right? Because they're always thinking about. In the movie songs they say, day and night I have made one for you. The boy says to girl, girl says to boy. So that just in the movie. I'll bring a stars for you. I'll get a moon for you and things and all. They're just in the movies for the sake of song or creating some kind of feelings. But Srila Prabhupada lived his life. Srila Prabhupada was so focused. That's what he writes in Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse number? 37 or maybe before that. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunanda. One pointed attention. The disciple makes the instruction of spiritual master as one's life and soul. Life and soul means, right? For him, there is no existence other than working on the instruction of his spiritual master. So it's really great. So at least we can take our small steps, baby steps, to chant every day and to follow 4 regulative principles, as yesterday we were speaking about. Then surely at least we can follow what Prabhupada has sacrificed for all of us to give. He was always trying to create a good atmosphere through Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. The whole Bhagavad Gita was his practical life. My God, you see? Right? Beginning only we began our discussion, isn't it? People know what is Gita, what is a good life, what Gita says, how to lead our life. But then they don't see living example. That's why they think it is not possible now. But Srila Prabhupada lived his life as per the instructions given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is he saying? The whole Bhagavad Gita was his practical life. So means walk your talk. Srila Prabhupada spoke Bhagavad Gita. He just did not spoke, but he lived his life also. How Bhagavad Gita wants all of us to live. So it's a great. His mission was not a mission of preaching only, but of practical action. So yes, not only speaking, but living also. He was also trying to catch me for this mission, and I would try to slip away. I did not think that he would do any miracle for spiritual revolution of the world, although that is what he urged us. So Dr. Shastri was thinking, I don't think so we can do so much or so. The whole world will be revolutionized. But that's what Srila Prabhupada was always speaking. And that's what we see what happened in the time to come. Srila Prabhupada revolutionized the whole world. We're struggling to manage our own studies and our own work. But Srila Prabhupada, one old man, but made it such great miracle. While Dr. Shastri tended his clinic, Abhay sat and spoke with his patients, occasionally recommending medicines, but mostly preaching. So he has not come now for a business purpose. Okay. So somehow he was a doctor and Prabhupada was a pharmacist. So, sorry, he was giving them medicines and then things to be needed. But he took the opportunity of the people to come and present them about Krishna consciousness. So we also have some devotees in our temple, ISKCON Hyderabad. They are the doctors, but they also recommend the patients. You take this apple and offer it to God, Krishna, and say Hare Krishna Mahamantra before eating. Your disease will work upon. You'll get a good immunity to fight against your disease. So somehow we have to try. Whomever we come in touch and all, try to present as best as we can, as per our levels. For now, he was content to live and preach in Jhansi. Here was a life, people receptive to his preaching, who responded to his urging them to chant Hare Krishna. His desire and determination to leave everything else behind and preach day and night depending on Krishna for the result were increasing. His desire and determination was increasing day and night, leaving everything behind. He began regularly lecturing and chanting at various programs in the city, sometimes at several in one day. What do you understand by this? Sometimes at several in one day. What did you understand by this?
He will give on one day.
Yeah. Many talks he will give one day. One here, one there, one there, one there. On Sundays, he would lecture at the Sadhana Mandir, another day at the Gita Mandir, another day at the Theosophical Society, and regularly in people's homes. So Prabhupada did not left any single opportunity. Everywhere he was trying to speak of message of Bhagavad Gita. You'll be shocked to know. All of you have Bhagavad Gita with you? Yeah, all of you have Bhagavad Gita at your home? Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Joshit Prabhu said, Athar Prabhu is telling. Others, other devotee, all of you have? Okay, Shubham Prabhu is also telling. Manvik Prabhu, Lakshmit Prabhu, you have Bhagavad Gita as it is? I hope. So,
Prabhuji.
yeah, thank you. So you go to the introduction. Srila Prabhupada has written introduction, preface, introduction, index, and then the Gita starts. So that introduction is nothing but, it is a recording of Prabhupada lecture. And how many audience were there in that lecture that Prabhupada gave? 0. Nobody was there in the room. Only 4 walls. And Prabhupada was giving a lecture on Bhagavad Gita. And that became the introduction of the book what we have right now. Right. So Prabhupada did not worried about whether people are. He tried his best. He had given an invitation and all, but people are coming, not coming. Then preach to 4 walls also, or wherever opportunity is there. Then Prabhupada used to go also. So speaking the message of Bhagavad Gita is very much important. So that's what, and what is another proof? You all of you heard about, right? His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So every day he will speak in the evening, compulsory, wherever he is in the world. Every day, minimum half an hour, he will speak about Krishna consciousness. So go on speaking. That's what they saw from the life of Prabhupada, and that's what they are also trying to share with the people as much as. So this marathon month is very amazing. We should also try to gift this Bhagavad Gita, distribute this Bhagavad Gita as much as more and more. So you see, Prabhupada began his preaching programs. Mr. Ram Mitra, the shopkeeper poet, maintained a Shiva temple near his home, and Abhay began to perform kirtan and lecture there. Right? So Shivji is a great devotee. Doesn't matter. Place is there, people are there. Let's present. Sometimes Mr. Mitra would speak in Hindi on Bhagavad Gita at Sadhana Mandir, and Abhay would attend. Sometime Abhay would visit Mr. Mitra at his utensil shop. The shop was in a crowded Jhansi Bazaar and open onto the busy street. Abhay would sit down like an ordinary customer amidst stack of stainless steel buckets, plates, bowls, and lotas, and speak to Mr. Mitra and friends about Chaitanya Charitamrita. Or sometimes he would listen to Mr. Mitra tell about his published book of poetry and his literary reputation. Mr. Mitra saw that Abhay's ambition was no less than to make the whole city of Jhansi alive with Krishna consciousness. Right. So Dr. Shastri, who was a doctor, now this is Mr. Mitra, who is a businessman having a steel utensil shop. He also felt, as soon as he came in touch with Srila Prabhupada, what Mr. Mitra felt? What Mr. Mitra felt Abhay's desire? Just now we read, anyone noted? Anyone remember?
Well, Jhansi alive with Krishna consciousness.
Sorry, Krishna consciousness? What you said before?
Prabhuji, to make Jhansi Krishna consciousness.
Jhansi, not Jhansi ki Rani, but
Make
whole
whole people of Jhansi in Krishna consciousness, alive with Krishna consciousness.
you wanted to make the whole Jhansi alive with Krishna consciousness. Correct. Right? So that was his desire. Sometimes we think of little only, but Prabhupada said, I have one problem. I don't think little. I always think big. So Prabhupada's ambition was to make whole world. That's what you see how he felt. Mr. Mitra. Abhay quoted Chaitanya Charitamrita. One who has received the great fortune of taking birth in India should make his life perfect and then do good for others by spreading Krishna consciousness. Bharat bhumi te hoile manushya janmajar janma sarthak kari kara paropakar. And then what Abhay says, you see, and Abhay would add, the whole world is waiting, Mr. Mitra, for our spiritual revolution. The whole world is waiting. Mr. Mitra would nod, his handsome Nehru-like face forming a smile. But he saw that Abhay wanted people to do more than merely listening to him. He wanted them to do something. Are kuch to karo bhai. Right? Just don't. Indians, we have received this great message. So by default, it is our duty to live with this message. But not only remain with that only, but try to spread also, try to share also. So one of our teacher, he gave a presentation called as preservation by propagation. So if you want to preserve something, then that things will be preserved only when we try to propagate, only when we try to share, so that the generations it will go on. Right? So Prabhupada, we are here at Vrindavan. So here in the yesterday was a disappearance of Yamuna Mataji. So one devotee was sharing. Srila Prabhupada told Yamuna Mataji, you are a wonderful cook. You should teach others also to learn doing cooking very nicely. If you don't do, then we will become envious. Then the knowledge will not be there. Right. So that's why we should always share. So that's what in our ISKCON there are 4 principles. All of you remember? Books are the basis. What are other 3? Anyone remember? Books are the basis. Dash is the dash. Dash is the dash. And the dash is the dash. Right. Oh, no one remember what those 4 principles Srila Prabhupada on which
Purity is force.
Purity is the force. Books are the basis. Purity is the force. Next.
Utility is the principle.
Utility is the principle. And then the 4th.
Preaching is the essence.
Preaching is the essence. So preaching is the ultimate goal of our organization. Ultimate goal is, whole setup to learn ourselves very nicely, lead our life, study Srila Prabhupada's books, try to become a pure and lead our life very properly, and then share with others. Right? As Srila Prabhupada sacrificed his life, so let us try to present this great gift with the whole world also. So that's what we see from the life of Srila Prabhupada, how he sacrificed and what was his great desire. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we all of us, we know how Srila Prabhupada is great, but how Srila Prabhupada is great in detail, that's what we get to read. So detailed description is given. Prabhupada's interaction in the Jhansi, and how everyone felt about the life of Srila Prabhupada, and how amazingly they try to how amazingly Srila Prabhupada tried to encourage each and everyone. Right? Whole world is waiting, Mr. Mitra, for our spiritual revolution. So today's title will give, the whole world is waiting, dash, dash, dash. Thank you all very much for joining with us and giving your association. Let us end with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.